2025 Bits and Bolts session. I hope you have your coffee and beverage in hand. Stuart and me are very prepared, at least in our appearances, for this breakdown. And yeah, we've got some interesting news since it's the end of the year. We'll talk about the raffles and who won, and we'll put your names up here in a little bit. But yeah, with that, let's get started. Extremely festive today. We have, of course, Stuart Clark and myself, Armaan Sami. Let's jump into today's topics. I have something I want to quickly show about query-based filtering. This is an early access feature and function. It's live, however, we have to turn it on for your accounts. So if you do want to test or play around with this, there are some enhanced benefits of it. You can reach out to, again, Stuart or myself, and we'll have this turned on for you. And I have something which it's funny because it's something which I usually never talk about in a demo or a kind of a walkthrough of SureMDM. It's kind of one of these customization things that you do way after the fact. But I know that we have a lot of complaints about our toast messaging, devices deleted, job applied successfully, whatever, that comes up at the very top of the screen and blocks the entire menu bar. I wanted to show you how you could quickly change where that's positioned in case you want to always have access up there and these little banners are not so required. And then Stuart will talk about SureLock, the advanced home screen customizations through HTML. We've done a session on this before, but there's been quite a bit of enhancement and improvements to this. So Stuart will cover it in a bit more detail. Yeah, with that, let's jump into the fun. So for starters, I'm going to open up my SureMDM hub, SureMDM console, sorry. Here we go. This is SureMDM. And just by quickly kind of looking at it at the first glance, there isn't really anything that's different. We still have, let's say, the traditional or regular view of devices, folders, groups, and even the search and advanced search don't look any different. However, the changes happen once you click on advanced search. You've always got the typical, what we call advanced search. This is the Excel style filtering where you can simply type in almost like an Excel filter, comma separate, put in whatever kind of differentiation you want, or if there's like a date range, you can customize it. And of course, once this is done, you have the options to come here to more, to save as a custom report, or in filters, you could have saved this same view as well. However, we do have the option to set up advanced query. Now, the benefit of this here is we have quite a few, or at least I have quite a few different items or points which are here on my view, on my kind of my device grid. But we're using this querying, I can simply type. So let's see here, I do have, let's say, agent version for a moment. Let me come here and remove agent version. And here I can still see it. So agent version is, and I'll give you the prompt. So is equals, and what's an agent version that I have here that I can use as an example, 3.7.4 as a quick example. And then you can type these out. So you can also do another one. So agent version is, let's say, or let's say even, I can make this more interesting. Let's say platform, or the search here, and enter. So I think I made some mistake here in the layout or the version, but you type it out there and you'll get whatever fields you have. And then similarly, all the same fields which are available in the kind of the drop-down menu here, or the advanced, so the grid view columns are available here for you to pick from. What you do not see in this view yet is if you have a custom property or an app version. So just keep that in mind. If you are tracking and using some custom property or custom field, you won't see that here. You only see the stuff which is a part of the grid view or grid columns. So for instance, I've got some custom columns, test 1, 2, 3. If I try to search for that, it won't pop up. Just keep that in mind. If you are looking to filter based off a custom column, property, or installed application, or even the things, it's best to stick at the moment with our advanced search You just have to add it to the grid view, and then, for instance, you can save it here. But on the other side, if you just want to play around with it, again, it's the early version. You can use it and just filter for anything which is part of the custom column. Now, the real benefit of this, I mean, personally myself too, I still prefer and I like the advanced search in the scenario where I'm filtering and I have something here that I'm seeing. So I can quickly come here and then click on status and make that filter. Perfect. But in a scenario where you don't see what's going on in your grid view, I do accept that the query is much better. Now, let me give you an example of where this is like that. For starters, I think many of you will have, and we've talked about this before in kind of best practice bits and bolts, but we have different colored folders here, right? So I've got the home folder, and I've got, if I open these, some different OEM specific folders which are colored. This means that I have a property assigned to them. So here, for instance, is Google profile. And if I come here and I click on assign, and I'm just going to take, for instance, in this case, this test as a text message, and I come here, you will have noticed that we've made, when we enable this for you, there will be a change to this section. Whereas before, you only had the option to filter, I think, by device model and OS build number. Now you will have noticed that you have the option to add another filter. So to add a view, to add further filtering and previewing to your devices. So let me come out of this one really quick and take a different profile in a different group, because then I think we'll be able to see it. If I come here, let me take this profile and hit next. For the profiles, it becomes enabled. And here you're going to see that I have now the option, like you always did, to include or exclude some groups, to include all subgroups. And here I can either click on this view and then I can see, okay, I already have this filter created. So I'm going to take this filter, but I'll show you where that is afterwards. But you can also just click on plus and name the filter. So let's say, for instance, device model TC22, one of my test devices. And then I can come here and say device manufacturer or devices is equal to TC22 as an example. And of course, I can always click here and use or apply to my existing devices. I don't want to do that now, but this is another way that you can kind of come in here and add more customization to your layout, or to your, let's say, to your frame, to what you're doing here as far as your filtering. So once you're doing this and this is done, you can of course hit save. Sorry, am I not complete? Oh, sorry, my apologies. Is, and okay, they want to have more. There we go. And you can add the further rules like I was trying to do before, but here, now we go. And then let's say, for instance, agent version is equal to whatever. You can customize to make it as complicated or as simple as you want. And in this view, yes, you have to keep a track of and maybe remember this layout. But because I don't have visibility of the grid view, it's quite easy to find the benefit or easily write something out, no matter how complicated or simple in this way. So I'm going to remove just quickly the options here. You can always click on it and then also change the values and update them. But here, once I hit save, filter for TC22 and hit save, you're going to see that the filter is then here created, or sorry, the group property is here created. And if I come here to edit, I can always come and edit and change this filter. If I wanted to reapply it, I can simply from here just check the box and hit save. And this profile will get pushed to my TC22. I'm not going to do that now. But exactly, you can customize this, make it as complicated or as simple as you want. By default, just to remind you, it's only going to pop up still as those two available filters. If you'd like to use this feature, get in contact with Stuart or myself, and we'll have it added for your accounts. At one point, it will go live to everybody, but at the moment, it's still in testing and it's an early access feature. But especially as there are some limitations with what's available for you to filter on, that is going to be fixed, but still early stages. Now, I mentioned earlier, this is two ways that you can see it. So when I have it enabled, I have it here. And when I'm doing my properties, I have it here. But of course, if we go to filters, I also get to see it. And you might have noticed that here I have different colored filters. So I have some which are, let's say, not filled in, they are see-through, and I have some which are all dark and filled in. These dark ones here, so if I click on them, you'll notice that it actually will change and it will update to the filters which I have created as part of a custom property. So you can always come here and change it as well, or come here and see all the devices which are affected by a filter, as they're saved in both places. And if I come back to my groups and I click on properties, and let's say I want to assign another profile, and I want to add a filter, and I click here on that filter button, you'll see that both the filter I've already created for TC22 and devices ABC appear here as well. So it's not only saved here, it's also saved for you in the filters view. And if you're making a new filter, and by default, let's say you come here, you come here, you have these filters, they're going to jump back and forth between the two views. To create a new one, just simply click on the new filter and it will prompt you for which one that you'd like to see. So if you prefer one over the other, or you're more familiar with one version or another, just pick and choose whichever one you like, and it'll format itself and be laid out like this. Everything else works exactly the same. You can still apply jobs or make changes to these devices, not via the filter button here, but you can still by doing a control or a shift click. So depending on what your devices are here, or a control A or command A, by applying all the devices, or an update this way as well. Just some basic tips. Now, as I was doing a lot of yeah.
I want to ask one question, if you don't mind. Under the advanced query, if I'm searching for a particular column, does that need to be visible in the device grid to be able to do it, or is it available across any? So where you were going, your original advanced query search?
Exactly. So like, let's come here. Let's do it correctly, because I think I made a mistake the first time. But agent version, let's do is, and then let's find a. Let me just take a Android device. Let me copy this quickly just so we can paste it in correctly and do a search. So as you would have seen here, I don't have the agent version on my dashboard. I had simply removed it before, so it's not visible. So again, yeah, if correct, if you wanted to have a filter for something that you don't see, this query is a good way to do it. Similarly, too, I'll give this example. Maybe you have some filters saved for different users, and different users are using different device views. This is a good way for you to be able to kind of show this. However, there is a caveat, and this is kind of a super user caveat. You do have a customization feature or a role within SureMDM where you are able to block these columns. At the moment, and this will probably change in the future, your filter will still filter for it. You won't see the data, but you can still make a filter based off of it. So just keep that in mind. What I'm referring to is if I come here to user management and I go to the device grid columns, I mean, I don't have any for this account, but you can say, for instance, that a user does not have access to agent version in the group view, but they can still filter for it. So just be careful. You won't see it, but you can still do a filter for cases where this might play into effect. I can't really think of a situation, but just so you have that in your mind. In the future, from what I'm told, if you don't have it added to the grid view, it will be removed from whatever field or from whatever variable you're looking to add. So let's go devices as an example, whatever, device email. But yeah, so I hope that answered your question. There is a question, is there a way to filter on data amount you set? Sorry, I don't know if you can. Huh?
I think it's.
Sorry?
I think it's. Can you filter on data used? Is the
on data, like cellular data used? I imagine it's the
yeah.
So strength BDM we can. Data used, I think the only way to really, and I've actually never tried this, so we'll do it live really quick. If I come over to my dashboard and let's go to data usage. I've only set this up for 2 devices at the moment, but if I come down here, and let's say I want to see these devices where the SureMDM agent has used it, others, so I've got these, yeah, it won't give me a filtered view where I can see it. So theoretically here, and I can request this in a CSV, but in this column, in this data usage Sure Insights section, you should be able to see data used and be able to kind of make either export this as CSV, but I think in this option here, I don't really have, like if I can't click on it, I'm trying to click on it and it doesn't filter it for me. Yeah. So I think data consumed is not a value that I have.
So I see there's clarity on it. The question was if I wanted to be able to filter a list of devices that used more than, for example, 1 GB of data within the last month.
Gotcha. Okay. So what I would actually recommend for that, you can't do that within, looks like you can't do that there. It's not a grid view. But what I would actually recommend here is the telecommunication management policy. Yeah. So I think this is one way you can do it. This is static, but I like about it here is it's pretty easy to set up. So you can say, for instance, monthly on the 12th of every month, and you can set different limits. And when devices hit limits, you can set notifications and take different actions, apply any job. But I think there's also in compliance, what might be better is, I'm checking to see if there is data usage. Cellular strength we have, but data usage doesn't look like it's here. I think it's a good request. I'll check with the team and see if this is something.
Yeah, and just the reporting really. I mean, I don't know if it's going to solve the problem exactly, but for the question, we've got a data usage report, so you could grab it on demand, or you could get a scheduled report if you needed to, and obviously filter. That would give you the view of all data usage across your selected set of devices, and you could filter it in a CSV or Excel format.
Yeah, so report, I do think you should actually have. Just really quick, the reason I was trying to do this was because if I was able to do it in my dashboard, I would have been able to make it a compliance. And then my compliance, I would have been able to click on it and see those devices. Yeah. And then you see it like this. There is in reports, I think if you come down to custom reports, yeah. So you have device details and you have data usage. And then you can also set up data usage here where you see overall and megabytes roaming, and then also a date time window. So if you add these, just be careful because I think this has to be used in connection with the, I have to test this, I'm not 100%, but it has to be used in collaboration with the, what's it called, with the compliance job, not compliance, but for the telecommunication job. Otherwise you'll get lifetime. And yeah, that probably won't help you. So just be careful. Make sure you set this first as a telecommunication job, and then you can try it here within a custom report data usage. Good. Good. Thank you. Yeah, since the Sunday reports will do the job. Wonderful. Exactly. Yeah, and just in case it might be interesting, you do have to set this up, but you can also see it per application. And yeah, there's some cool things you can also do with SureLock settings for specific applications if you need to disable or enable apps within SureLock to work on Wi-Fi only or cellular only. These are things you can actually configure there within SureLock. Sadly, things I don't see a lot of these days, but are pretty interesting. And one day, maybe Stuart, what we can do a session on, because I've had multiple requests come up for this recently. But yeah, we do have the option for APN configurations and people asking about it. So maybe we'll talk to the team, see if we can get a config and do that. But yeah, for sure. For me, it's almost over. I ran quite a bit longer, but I did want to show you one thing. You might have noticed while I was doing this, let's say 100. And then as I click here and as I delete something, bottom left, I was getting these little pop-up notifications. You barely even noticed they were there. How you do this, and this is different to the big pop-up that comes up here and blocks everything at the top, is by coming over to settings to go to the console appearance. And then what we talked about, or Stuart, last time you mentioned the device maps and how you can change the theme, fonts, and even density, how tight, compact, or comfortable everything is laid out. You have at the very bottom here toast messages. And I have to switch this from the top over to the right. So if I come back to the top and just show you really quick, if I do agent update is, or let's do address is 100, and I delete it, comes up here, blocks almost everything. So that's just a quick little tip. Again, request came up a couple days ago, and I thought it might be a cool thing to quickly show. Very simple, but if you're using the MDM every day and you keep getting to the situation where you're here and you're just waiting, or you've enrolled like 20 devices and you can't access anything up here because it just keeps giving you pop-up after pop-up after pop-up, think about putting it down here at the bottom right corner. It might be helpful. Awesome. That's it from my side. Again, this is something which is not live for every account. If you want to test it or get it turned on for you, just reach out to Stuart or myself, and we'll talk to the team and get that done. Of course, we're going to need your account ID as well, just to know which account needs to be turned on. But thank you very much, Stuart. Over to you.
Perfect. Would you just give me a thumbs up when it's sharing? Good. You got it? You can see it? Okay, super. Mm-hmm. Good. So guys, as Armaan said, we've covered SureLock and specifically the home screen customization, or what many people refer to as the wallpaper, and the changes over a number of months. I think we may have done 2 or 3 different sessions on this specifically. But most recently we've made, and I guess it might be the same in your region, Armaan, many of the partners that I'm dealing with are saying to me, this is amazing, but I have very little HTML knowledge. I don't know how to go and build these myself. And I can play around, and I have kind of a dream of what I'd like to be able to use as a wallpaper within the SureLock environment, but it's something that is a little past what I'm either familiar or comfortable with. And so just a quick one, obviously and as we've mentioned before, there are many blogs about what ultimately our customers or our partners are wanting to be able to do to take away from that, I guess, very simple wallpaper that was originally available within the SureMDM environment, or the SureLock environment. And so you will see, and I'm going to show you within my SureMDM console at this point, that we've now included 7, if I remember correctly. I will confirm it for you in the next couple of seconds when this is refreshed. But there are some templates as well as the HTML code that allow you now to be able to go and at least start with what I would term the base of an HTML wallpaper that could be in use. So very quickly on how to get there, within the SureLock job, obviously we have the ability to go about through the wallpaper settings. But what I'm referring to specifically in terms of the predefined templates is available under allowed applications, visible apps, and then our preview button that we've had available for I think a year or so now allows you to be able to obviously make changes to the positioning of the icons. And on this option, you will see we now have the option to be able to change the home screen setting from what we refer to as classic to now advanced. And on making this change, you will see, as in the past, you were required to be able to import an HTML file that you had pre-built or designed. We are now giving you the templates to be able to make I guess an easy start in terms of where you begin. So you have a view, obviously, as what's available. If I click on the run button, I'm very quickly displayed the exact look and feel of what's available, including those icons or those applications that I've already allowed within my current SureLock job that I was building. And obviously the option to be able to import your own is still there. You can create your own templates. You can also take our templates, and this with the partners that I've spoken to has been probably the best received, is give me the template and let me give me the opportunity to be able to go and make some small changes that makes this obviously unique to my partner name or my customer details. And so there is the option to be able to download and then push this HTML file directly back into this classic or advanced home screen configuration. So if I run through these, you'll see there's some really super templates, some that are very specific for certain verticals. There was one a little bit further, and I'm going to hop through them quite quickly as we're talking, one that seemed to be more focused on the education sector, some that, let me go towards the end, some that seemed ideal for a T&L type of focus. Here's an example of one that shows class schedule, for example. And again, those partners that I've been through have said that to get to this point was something that they weren't necessarily able to do themselves. So to be able to begin with this this template is obviously something that makes their lives a little bit easier. All right. So let me hop through just a few more of these so that you can see, obviously, some really different values and some really different look and feel of how you might be able to go about making these available, and obviously going and customizing those. Obviously saved within the SureLock job, and once you've switched to this advanced home screen customization, I would suggest, and while there's no limit to doing this, I think that the idea of going back to your SureLock settings and beginning adjusting the wallpaper in this area really becomes no longer relevant, because you're doing in, I guess, what we could call a kind of a real time, or a GUI that is real time in terms of the view. And so I have seen in the past, over the last couple of months, the large majority of our partners are moving directly through the preview section. And obviously this could be either for just dropping a basic image. You can do obviously up to 5 of those that we've spoken about before and rotate through those, or make use of this advanced home screen customization and jump directly into the HTML code. So I'm just looking at the time. I'm not going to carry on too much more. Please go and have a look and see, experiment, make use of it. I think that this is going to completely change the, I guess if we could call sort of the boring image-based wallpaper. And I hope many of you found this helpful.
A great chance to make it a bit more dynamic too, and kind of show different data points, as some of the examples you showed almost had widgets. Great chance to play around with AI. So I've literally taken some of these templates, threw it into AI, and said, hey, please change these variables for me. Again, it's written relatively simply. You can take some of this data out yourself, find it and change it, but it's a great opportunity if you're looking for a way to implement or use AI to quickly do a search here and say, or take this, export it, copy paste it into an AI prompt and say, please change blah, blah, blah variables, or update the logo to this, whatever, and they can do it relatively quickly and easily. I would start, if you're going to take this approach, start by taking one of the templates that Stuart showed. Without it, you're going to spend a lot of time writing a very detailed prompt. I found it's much easier to say, take this example and change this and this and this to it. So as Stuart mentioned, find the prompt that you like and then throw it in there. But maybe you're better at HTML coding than me, and you can just take it and you know exactly what you're doing.
I many times showed this and hoped that the partner or the customer was going to say, "This is excellent. I'll use this. I'll do." Sorry, not this portion. The ability to build your own HTML template, because it wasn't within my skill set. So absolutely, this completely changes it. And I think there's some really good options here. I've obviously hopped through them quite quickly, but go and have a look, and I hope that one of those 7 or 8 templates would be exactly what makes sense for either you or your customer as a base, as you said. It's I think it'll be really good. Good. Well, there we go. Let me hop back into the slides, and then we can wrap it up. I know we a little bit over where we normally are, and just a quick reminder, and I know we had showed this briefly last week, but updated, we obviously begin again on the 21st of January, and we will continue right through until I see the 9th of December. Gabby's been preparing it all the way along. Remember, the link remains unchanged, and every 2 weeks we will connect at the same time. The only difference being for those of us outside of regions where there is a daylight saving change, that there is that shift in time for our local time. So keep that in mind, but you will always get that automated reminder from the GoToWebinar or GoToMeeting environment to be able to trigger. Quickly then also, and again, for those of you who join more regularly, you will have known this and probably repeat my words for this slide, but for those of you who want to reach out to our partner marketing team and Gabby and Chris and some of the other team that work within that specific unit, please feel free to reach out to them at partnermarketing@42guests.com, and then our tech support team, various other methods, but including tech support at 42gears.com, and they're available 24/7. That's the tech support, not the marketing team. So feel free to reach out to the tech support guys as we as and when you ever need any assistance. So, good. Well, thank you again, everybody. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for joining each and every one of these sessions. Thank you again for the comments. I see we've even got some email addresses. There's a new Santa email address that somebody